I had some personal reservations for whatever reason. I actually kind of shuddered. I actually had an ick factor. But that was just...
What?
Oh, yes.
Kody, did you really say that? Come on.
He did because I was divorced with kids, and that's a lot.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Red Lipstick Reality TV. I'm Anna and I'm here to have a good time with you today, at least hopefully. If you're new here, hey you guys, welcome to my channel. I talk about all things Sister Wives right now, but in the future, who knows what we'll do. But right now, it's definitely Sister Wives. So if you love Sister Wives content, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on your notifications so they let you know each time I drop a new video. And I do a new video after every episode. So the recap is a good time here in the comment section is even better. With that being said, welcome back Red Lipstick Club. You guys, thanks for coming back and joining me. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the video. And also get in those comments because you know I like to read and respond back. So we're going to have a good time today. Hopefully. I had way more WTF moments than I was anticipating. Which, when I was going through my notes, I'm like, did I really have this many WTF moments? Apparently I did. And I thought I was going to be like lacking them this week. But no, your girl found some. So we're going to have a good time talking about episode 14 this week. It's called The Truth Will Set You Free. Probably why I had so many WTF moments, because there were quite a few truth bombs that happened in this episode. I think you will see maybe some other reviewers reflect back to this episode as one that did the most exposing and basically confirmed a lot of the suspicions we've had about this family. I don't know if they realized that's what they were doing, but that's what it was for me. It felt like a lot of exposing, and hopefully we'll call those out, and you'll also take the time to call those out in the comments as well. Also, you guys, it's sweater season, and I didn't pull out the space heater. You know I got the Santa's chill in the back. The red nails are out. That's how we know it's the holidays. So, are you guys ready? Okay, let's go. So we're going to talk about first segment. They're starting it off in Flagstaff. You guys, this was going to be, I knew it was going to be really difficult for me to watch this. I actually put a note in the community section about how I thought I was making a personal sacrifice to watch Kody and Robyn wax poetic about their relationship and their love. I wanted to fast forward. I'm not going to kid y'all. It took a lot in me to make it through those Kody Robyn segments. Whoa. I'm glad they waited until 14 episodes for me to have to even talk about that, deal with that, because I was not excited about it. But really, I don't care. I don't care about them. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't root for a relationship that was literally built on the downfall of other relationships. Like, she's not a girl's girl. It has really bad roots. That tree is rotten to the core, as they say. But, you know, we got to talk about it. So this is the first dinner date, you guys, that I can actually remember in a very long time. Actually, one of the last real sit-downs, other than that staged argument that they did, where it felt like they were responsible for providing a full segment, just Robyn and Kody. It's been a long time since I felt like they had to contribute as much content as everybody else did, and they should be. But I already had a let's talk about moment. This isn't really a mic drop or a WTF moment, but it really is a let's talk about it moment. And I want to have a conversation, okay? So let's pop it in right here.
Aurora and Brianna came to me and asked me about like trying to help them find a church. They're just ready for that step in their lives. So I need to kind of talk to Kody and feel him out to see what he thinks.
So I want to talk about this, you guys. I heard a lot of different feedback about how people felt about the girls having to ask Robyn for, like, can they go to church? And having to explain themselves as to why they wanted to go to church, why it was something they were looking into doing. And watching it back and then watching this segment, it's really clear to me these two girls have been, and let me even call them, these two young women, let me make sure I'm very clear about that. Two young women have been infantilized to the point where they genuinely are not able, number one, to make really any decisions for themselves without feeling as if they must consult a parent before they make that decision, despite them being young adults. And these aren't decisions where it's going to be a life or death situation for them. That it's going to cost us a significant amount of money. These are two young women who have felt the need to explore different church options and decide what is the best fit for them. And for them to have to go to a parent for that and feel like they had to, I agree with you guys all, that is very toxic and it's infantilizing. And then now witnessing this, where it's basically Robyn asking for permission for her daughters to exist as grown women, the level of control was really dangerous to me. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that. I kind of want to break it up because they had a pretty long conversation about that. But I'm just going to break up over this conversation how I felt about that. But it's just something to think about. It's like let's talk about it for a quick second moment. But it did stand out to me, and I wanted to just acknowledge how this tied back to last week's episode and some of the comments you all left. I get it. I totally understand. And I feel like this validated what you were saying even more, right? Moving on, we're going to go back to SLC now. And we're going to be at Christine's engagement party. It looks like they just rented out a local, kind of fast food restaurant. I don't know if that'd be my first choice for an engagement party, but they seem like, number one, pretty casual people. And it also felt like Christine wants to go places where she likes the food. And any girl that picks a place based off the food is one after my own heart. So I'm going to give her a pass on this basically being a chain fast food Mexican restaurant because she clearly picked it based off she liked the food there. And I feel you on that. I totally understand that. So anyway, we don't need this content, you guys. We don't. We're burnt out on the Christine and David content basically because we'd already seen this wedding special. Had we not seen that already, we would probably have a different perspective. Now we don't care. Unfortunately, TLC screwed themselves by showing that wedding special. They should have waited until after this season to show the wedding special. I think they could have got married, y'all, did all that. We could have seen photos and everything. But if they would have held on to that video content, I think it would have had a significantly bigger impact had we actually watched this whole love story come to fruition and then seen the wedding at the end. It wouldn't have been perfect because obviously we would have known ahead of time that they did in fact get married. But if we didn't have the video and didn't have all that, and we got to see a whole season of this happen, it just would have been significantly better. It would have just told a better story. I do not know, y'all, why they rushed to get that content out. I don't know why they rushed to get that special out. And quite frankly, last year almost burnt me out because there were too many episodes and then the special on top of it. Because you guys remember they did the look back, the talk back. It was way too many episodes. It was overload. And then it was the wedding. I couldn't even finish reviewing the wedding. I was so burnt out on it. So, like I said, it just would have made more sense to me. Tell me what you think in the comments. That's just my thought. I do love seeing Hunter. I love that he shows up to everything. I think he just does a great job showing up for his family. They were talking about what their weddings were like when they married to Kody. There obviously seems to be some resentment around Christine's wedding experience with him because she was a third wife. She really did miss out on everything that a lot of women get really excited about when it comes to planning, getting engaged, doing all the steps of a wedding. Like she had no real engagement, no real wedding. Everything was a secret. So she's trying to live her best life. And Peyton talks about how the speed of their engagement, the speed of them getting together, that everybody supports them. At this point now, there really is no more reason to have conversations. It seems where we're at in the storyline, all the kids feel okay at this point. They seem to have accepted it. I did like them showing video of Truly looking just like comfortable in her surroundings. We have had very few clips, in my opinion, of Truly comfortably interacting with the other family, feeling calm and like relaxed in the environment, happy in the environment. I'm just like, okay, good. Like, so people can lay off of Truly, please. She looked okay, y'all. She looked like she gets along with David's kids, her technical nieces and nephews. She looks fine. She's good. We're gonna let that go, okay? Y'all, again, McKelty forcing people to blend together because she has to be the center of attention and the center of everything. So she just can't let people do what they want to do. Her personality would never work with me, because if you try to force me to do something I don't want to do, like talk to people I don't feel like talking to, uncomfortably sit next to people I'm really not in the mood to sit next to, we will not get along. Me and McKelty we'd be going to blows. She would drive me crazy, y'all. She would definitely drive me crazy. Christine, y'all, wearing white to this event to eat birria tacos. If you've never had those, basically it's a tortilla. It's dipped in the consomme, which is like the beef broth, right? It's dipped in there. It's usually a pretty rich red color when you do this. They fry it. There's meat inside. There's cheese. They fry it on both sides, and then you eat it with like cilantro and like white onion. Delicious. And as you're eating it, you dunk it in the consomme, and it's kind of like a wet taco. Phenomenal. Love them when they're made right. Incredibly messy. I am a busty lady. I have to wear a bib. And I'm not playing with y'all. I have to wear a bib when I wear it. Or I have to have the plate like literally underneath my chin. Christine got her boobs done. Girl, why are you doing something like that in white? There was no way she was going to avoid spilling that. And I think it's hilarious that David called that out, because what it tells me is he's really paying attention to her behaviors, things she does, and he finds them endearing enough, and he likes to laugh with her and make jokes with her, which is what she says her family is like. So he's very comfortable with that, with teasing in a fun way. And he wasn't, to me, teasing in a I don't like you. Like, some people can tease you and they're trying to laugh through it and try to make you think like it's a joke. And you're like, it's not really funny to me. You're just making jokes at my expense. Like, I'm not really in on the laugh. I'm not in on the gag. This is clearly a situation where Christine is in on the gag, and her and David have a really good rapport when it comes to just doing some slight teases. So I thought that was cute. I do like also, you guys, in this segment that Christine acknowledges that she was in love with Kody at some point, but just that it's a different love, and she acknowledges that. That was great, because I felt like she was kind of sliding into that same ridiculous behavior that Kody was, where it's like, I'm never in love with these people. No, you were. We just are now an adult. You have a totally different mindset. A lot of the indoctrination, at least for Christine, has been wiped away. So she's going to experience love completely different as this fully fleshed out woman, right? It's a different experience. So I like that she did that. And I'll just repeat, you guys, I think that David seems to get along really well with the family. I just really love that for her. He also is okay with feeding into this fantasy for Christine, good and bad, but I'd rather her have that than be in the misery that she was in before. So that's it. That's all for that segment. I just had that quick little point out. Obviously pretty boring, but we still covered it and it's fine. It's a start, right? Moving on though to segment 2, everybody. We're going to start at Meri's B&B, but not for long, because they're jumping in the car and they're taking a drive to Vegas. Her and Jenn are. When she told me that Jenn really didn't feel like going, and then when you're I guess kind of understand, this must have been late spring or summer. And if you're going to Vegas, I live in Arizona, it is so hot. It was the hottest summer, y'all. I cannot tell you how many 120 plus degree days we had in a row. It was record beating days, which means I guarantee you Vegas was very similar, and it is unbearable heat. It's like you don't want to leave the vehicle. You have to turn the air conditioning up super high. Sometimes I think it's actually kind of dangerous to take road trips, because I feel like it's a lot easier for your car to overheat. And then if you get stuck out there in the desert, I mean, good luck to you. You won't make it long walking. So thank goodness they made it there safely. They went to go see Meri's friend Brandy. Just a reminder, Brandy was in the featured in the season towards the beginning. We saw Brandy pre-release, like pre-divorce release. And that was a time where Meri was just basically telling them this is what she was going to be doing. And now we're seeing them post that. So this is almost a year of time that has spanned since that last time she saw Brandy. I was trying to figure out why Jenn is suggesting Meri go back to like the gated cul-de-sac community. I don't understand that. It's over. I don't know how you're asking Meri to get over this and move forward, and not like dwell in the past. If you as well are constantly bringing up the past and asking her to partake in the past, go visit the past. It's either you want her to move on or you don't. I'm not asking Meri, let's go see the cul-de-sacs, if I am also telling Meri, you need to move forward and move on from this deadbeat relationship. Those two things don't add up. I thought you dropped the ball there, Jen. Sorry, girl. Also, they bring up the list again that apparently Kody made Meri do. There's still no full explanation as to what exactly was on this list. At this point, TLC, don't bring that list up anymore unless you're going to give me the list. What did the list say? Or are you guys trying to hold out and you're not going to have Meri go over this list until the tell-all, which is super annoying, but okay. At some point, though, I better hear what was on this list. I do have my hypothesis. I'm sure you guys do as well on some things that I believe that were on there. But I do think a lot of it had to do with Meri having the back of Robyn and Kody. And especially Robyn when it came to her other sister wives. I feel like I can guarantee you that was on that list. As the segment continues, y'all, we go back to Flagstaff. Now we're back with Kody and Robyn and their like fake, like normal relationship for camera scene. I did say that I find it odd that they have kind of like shut their family off from like, and in their relationship, honestly, too. They've kind of shut it off from the world for years, like for the camera. And then like all of a sudden now we're getting like those stage discussions. We're getting this scenario now. Now that all the other wives are gone, now they're filming these segments, right? Now that the other wives are gone. And now they're filming these conversations. Interesting to me. Which is why we're going to go ahead and put in our WTF moment, our number one, right here.
Are really just wanting to be able to attend church, kind of get a church community that they can interact with, and then just be able to learn more and find their path, their religious or spiritual path.
Okay, y'all. Robyn rewriting history surrounding her daughter's church request. I was just saying, like, the girls, they're not just looking for like community and friends and a religious path. They specifically said they wanted to find someone to date, to find their own relationships. They want men that they feel believe in what they believe in. Why she left that out in her explanation in her talking head, I really don't know. It could be something weirdo to do with Kody, but I still don't buy that either. I feel like she's the one really infantilizing them. It really doesn't feel like that's Kody. I've never seen Kody hold back his daughters from pursuing marriages or relationships, except for Mykelti, who we all felt was not mature enough to be in a relationship. That's the only one that you really saw Kody kind of say, once they hit 18, that's the only one you saw him say, you know what, girl, this might not be for you. So I just thought that was weird that she would leave that out of her talking head segment. And Kody says that Robyn's like the most comfortable person to talk to. And I was like, well, that's because you're angry and judgmental. Excuse me. I think like that's why. He's scary. I wouldn't want to talk to him either. I'm going to get some water, you guys. I'm like parched. Also, go Huskers. The women's volleyball are in the Final Four for the championships, NCAA championships. Go Huskers. Anywho. Yeah, so I just think Kody's really judgmental. That's why the girls are not going to him, and neither would I. Moving on, in this same segment, Kody, obviously, he's not in the AUB, or he's really not practicing at all. So I'm like thinking to myself, why would the girls even go to that church? Why even bring up that church? It's pretty clear they're not going to go to that. They've also seen their stepdad, and that's who he is. I don't care if he adopted them. That's all a scam as far as I'm concerned. Anywho, so they've seen their stepdad film multiple times in plural marriage. So I don't know why anyone would be promoting them to go into that lifestyle. And also, they kept complaining for years that they were treated so bad and treated so differently. So again, why would that promote them to go to that lifestyle as well? That none of those things add up for me. So why are we even talking about them going into plural marriage? I do think Kody really shouldn't have an opinion in this. Just like Robyn, when it comes to like adult young people, decisions to go to church, this is not them impacting your pockets, your income. This is not life or death for them. They're not putting, they're clearly being very thoughtful in their intentions to do so. They didn't even pick a specific church they were jumping into. They said they want to explore different ones to see what's the best fit. Any young lady starting a conversation off with, I want to pick somebody with my same morals and values, I mean, she's really not looking to get into a terrible, like, Satan worshiping situation. Okay? It feels like she's got a pretty decent head on her shoulders when it comes to the type of people she's going to be picking out. So I feel like you can, like, fall back just a little bit, please. Anyway, y'all, segment 3. We are back in Vegas. Now, Meri tells Brandy about how Kody gaslit her with asking why she got the release so fast. And this is why we're going to put this mic drop moment in, because it was some back-to-backs right here, and I was loving it. Put it here.
It's like, no, you said you didn't want to be married to me, so why should I stick around for another 10 years, dumbass?
Okay, y'all. Meri finally getting aggressive. Like, why would I stick around, you dumbass? Like, I was like, girl, finally. Why would you stick around? The audacity of him to say, oh, why are you rushing now? Or why are you in a hurry now? Or why are you moving so fast now? 10 years is moving fast. Basically almost 15, because he was probably done with her even before this show. Get it out of here. And to tie this up with the bow, we're going to add one more WTF moment with Meri. Put it here.
I don't know why I go out of my way to be nice when he's so flippantly and comfortably talk about me. I said that.
Meri finally calls out that basically she calls out what's been pissing us all off in this moment. Why am I going out of my way to be nice to you, to a man who does nothing but talk, SHIT, about me all the time, on camera, off camera, in a hole, in a ditch, around the corner, on a lake? I mean, the amount of mess this man talks about Meri. And like we have all been saying, why are you going out of your way to be accommodating, welcome, nice, friendly to someone that has done nothing but poop a box of crap on you every chance they got? Trying to belittle, degrade, demean, demoralize you every chance they got to totally rewrite the history of your life together. Absolutely not. So, will she make changes to that, y'all? I don't know. She might continue to be the super nice one, despite this man treating her terribly, which is unfortunate, because I'd have nothing nice to say about him. I'm sorry, but no. And then also in this segment, you guys, Meri acknowledges just how kind of tough that legal marriage was. I felt like that was good, and I'm glad that she finally said that too, because I feel like we all felt her pain in that moment, and we didn't want her to do it. We all kind of felt like this feels scammy to us. This does not feel like it's going to be good for the marriage. Janelle felt it wasn't going to be good for the marriage. I think Christine was just kind of riding along with it. But I think all of us could clearly see it probably was not the best decision. And it really allowed for Kody to separate himself even more from Meri. Back in Flagstaff towards the end of this segment, everybody. So Kody's saying he's found his faith, but he doesn't like religion. But for me, I'm like, he's really deep into red pill content, the manosphere. He tries to speak intelligently about cult-like behavior in this, but he's part of multiple groups and thought processes that are very cult-like. He has a lot of conspiracy theory things as well. Those are very cult-like indoctrination type situations, very similar to religious indoctrination. He's not so far removed. He basically just replaced one cult with another. It's not that far removed. And I think sometimes that happens. People that have been in like those, what do they call them? High control groups. And like religions or sometimes MLMs. Probably why those communities do so well with MLMs, because they're used to being in high control groups. Like religion. So he hasn't really escaped cult-like mentality or cult-like groups or situations with what he clearly is involved in with like red pill content and the manosphere. They also talk about the impact of the church on their family. Like Christine, everybody jumps in on how being part of the church impacted them. And this is where I had a little bit of a WTF moment, you guys. So let's talk about it. We'll pop it in here.
Some of them were like going to be the demise of your family, which is kind of funny. Like, it's not funny at all, actually.
I found that
So I want to talk about where they said the church said it would be the death of their family. And well, guess what? It was right. Because the church knew that this situation is toxic. Everybody knows in the church, we've seen many of them talk about it, that there's no way polygamy works, that it's an incredibly toxic situation, that you're indoctrinated from, a very young age to believe that this is what life is supposed to be like, that you're supposed to suffer, that it's supposed to be bad, that the men are supposed to act this way, that you're supposed to be living in poverty. When you get a taste of the outside world and you see what life can be like, how can it not be the death of it? There's no way you can survive it. I think they would have, especially too, once you start leaving the culture, which once they left Salt Lake City or wherever they were at in Utah, once they left Utah, y'all, they were way too separated from that community to truly be still in the indoctrination. They were just far too removed. And then the kids started being removed. It's a wrap for that. I will say, you guys, I hate to say it, but I do think Kody had a good point when he did call out the cult-like, attitudes and experience of being in that church he was a part of. I also disagree with a ton of what he said as well. But I will say that cult-like mentality of high control groups like AUB, it's a cult. It just is. Anytime they tell you to deny critical thinking, to deny that inner voice inside of you, group-like think, trying to control some of the basic things you do, like he said, tell me whether or not I can cut my hair. As crazy as that sounds when you think about it, for me, Kody needs to cut his hair because he looks a mess. But because he needs to cut it because he looks a mess. Not because some religion tells you to. But because the hairline's telling you to cut it. The hairline's telling you let it go. So separate the two, Kody. Cut that hair because the hairline is saying it's time. I totally understand you not wanting to do it for the church. Also, I will say as we're going through this section, Kody is basically emotionally ABUSIVE. The fact that the girls feel like they have to young women feel like they have to walk on eggshells, and they're adult women doing this. They still have that kind of priesthood mentality when it comes to Kody, regardless of them not being in the AUB anymore. And that's a problem. We're witnessing this problem. And then Robyn says, also in this combo, that they need to find their own way. I'm like, she should have said that to Brianna and what's her name? Whatever the two oldest names are. She should have said that to them from the beginning. She should have removed herself from the conversation of them wanting to search out churches. She should have removed herself from that to begin with. It should not have been a permission thing to be asking Kody for. These are adult women. They are not asking to do something that would bring shame to your family. Why are they being treated like this is criminal activity? It's just crazy to me. I will say to you guys, it's interesting. Kody and Robyn have a difference of opinion surrounding going to church. Where they have potential male prospects. I said that before. Kody did not feel, he said, I'd be okay with him going to a church. If they want to go to Latter-day Saints because the young guys are attractive, please go do that. I thought it was funny that he doesn't seem, as controlling as he is, he's not prudish when it comes to them. It's very interesting dynamic. And I think maybe because he might have grown up around that purity culture, and maybe he sees some differences. I have heard there are some differences, not really with purity culture, but maybe just some positive differences within the church now. Y'all have to tell me. That doesn't mean it's still not cult-like mentality, and I've seen way too many people leave the church for me to believe that it doesn't still have some issues with purity, that purity system and that purity thought focus, especially at the colleges that are within Utah. Who knows? Y'all tell me what you think about that. But that was segment 3. Decent, had a few WTF moments in it. like I said, wasn't the most engaging, but it did have a few that I could talk about. And hopefully you found something that you wanted to comment on so far. But we're going to move on to segment 4. Segment 4, we're going to go start off back in Vegas, everybody. Meri's talking about behavior. I'm like, girl, stop. I felt like you're acting the way you are because you still believe in this religion. You're still oppressed. You're not that far removed from the indoctrination. Like, when she's talking about the behavior of Janelle and Christine in this episode and saying, I didn't like the behavior that I saw. First off, why are you taking that word from Kody? These are grown women. We're not talking about people's behavior. We're not talking about grown women, which tells me you still have some indoctrination issues you need to work out. Like the audacity for you to question how any of those women handled their relationships and their communication with Kody. You don't have a right to do that. It was unacceptable. For all of us, I feel like we believe, was Christine a little petty at times? Well, sure she was. Also, this is a show. This is a TV show, y'all. But Christine also had school-age kids, okay, that he had all but abandoned, especially through COVID. He did the same thing to Janelle. Janelle had school-age kids. She had Savannah still in the house going to school. He abandoned Savannah. He dropped the ball completely on multiple children. Meri only had her one adult that was doing their fine thing and doing just fine. Christine and Janelle had young kids still in the house that needed Kody to step up and be a father, and he did not. So if you want them to be Mr. Nice Guy, Mrs. Nice Guy, after they leave this relationship, you're crazy. And the audacity of you to expect that from them to not stand up for themselves, to call out the BS. This is why we've been so irritated with you, Meri, because you've been covering up the shenanigans and buffoonery. It's the lies for us. It's the lies for us. And I think Christine and Janelle just got real tired of holding weight for this guy and for making excuses for him. That we were done with the excuses. Sorry, but I don't want to hear about that. Which is why I'm going to put in a WTF moment, you guys. This is number 4, actually. Can you believe it? We're going to put it in right here.
Have a life.
Brandy doesn't even know who I am. I went to dinner with her a couple times, helped her and her husband move once. Do they know me? Meri doesn't need to trash talk me anymore. She's got her friends doing it for her. Friends that don't know me.
Okay. Meri doesn't need to trash talk me. She has her friends to do it for her. Kody, news flash. You're on international television, my guy. You're on an international television, televised, primetime Sunday night television show that you have been on now for 19 seasons. All these women that are friends with Meri and everybody else have the same access that me right here and everybody watching has to this show. So what you're saying about Meri, I'm sorry. And to see like how you treat her, what you said about her, how you treat her, they've all had the same access that I have had, that you have, to watch you do this on TV now for 19 seasons. So unless you're telling me you've been on TV telling nothing but absolute lies about Meri, then in fact, she knows exactly who you are. Brandy knows exactly who you are. Jen knows exactly who you are. Everybody knows who you are. We've watched you for 19 seasons now. It's not like we've seen 2.5 minute long clips of you, and that's the only exposure we've had to you as a person. Stop the mess. And then you lied. You lied about how much access and time you spent with Brandy. And that's when they pop in Meri. Thank you, producers, for doing this, because we've been asking y'all, when they get on this show and start lying, okay, that you, the producer, ask the questions, pop that stuff in so you can immediately contradict the lie right then and there.
Brandy and her husband, Tim, and Kody and I used to go out on double dates together quite often. Jen's been around since we lived in the rentals. That's when we met her. So the narrative that they don't know him or he doesn't know them or, is really inaccurate.
Thank you. Meri goes on there. She says that they've been on multiple dinner dates with Brandy and her husband. And also Jen was right there close to them. She was there around them frequently. So yes, these women do not only know you in person, but they know you just like the rest of us know you on TV. Okay? We could probably count the freckles on your face and tell you how many you have. That's how long we've been watching you on this show. So I'm sorry, it's not 2.5 minute long clips that have been put together, and that's the only picture image we have of you or Robyn, since you're trying to make her out to be shy all of a sudden. Take that back. That's a lie. We've seen y'all for 19 seasons. Give it up. Meri says she stayed because it was her choice. Meri, you stayed because of religious indoctrination. It's not just because you wanted to stay on your own. It's because you had religious indoctrination. It's called brainwashing because you were in a cult. Going back to Flagstaff for the end of segment 4, you guys. Ultimately, this combo, it really isn't about the girls. It's really, in my opinion, about Robyn trying to find like a safe way to say she actually wants to go back to church. And I feel like he is holding his wife back, holding Robyn back from believing what she wants to believe. Like I said, it's ABUSIVE. I don't have to like Robyn to recognize these signs of ABUSIVE when it comes to Kody. And this is one surrounding religion. He knew he married a religious woman. For her to have to be asking him permission for her to go back to church when he married her this way, and he knows that this was a stipulation of that marriage and that union, I'm not okay with that. Now, he could say, I don't prefer that you go back to the AUB church because I felt that cult-like behavior is why we're in the situation we're in. He could say that, but he should not be the choice for her on whether or not she goes back to any church at all. That should be her decision. And okay, that was enough for me. We do have one last WTF moment though for segment 4. Put it in, y'all, right here.
Well, you don't want to go too long without me because I don't want some guy thinking you're a single mom. There's a lot of men interested in Robyn, and they were sort of trying to get around me and to her.
He doesn't want them to think she's a single mom. You made all your first 3 single mothers. You didn't care about them being single moms. You said, Meri, Janelle, Christine, I know you got school-age kids, but I'm going to have you out here floating like a single mom. He doesn't want them to see her at the church as a single mom. I'm like, didn't you look down on single mothers when you first got with Robyn? Pretty sure there was a segment. And I might track it down. If I track it down, I'm going to put it right here, y'all. In season 1, when they were doing the tour, the press tour. Your girl might pop that in at the beginning of this episode. We might do that. But he's been talking down on single women now and single mothers for a very long time. And he also said too, around that time, is like, he had to make sure that the first guy that she was with was terrible, because if she would have left a good man, there must be something wrong with her. And that's the trend we've seen with Robyn, completely trashing and destroying her ex. And we've all come to find out it was not like that at all. And she just has made that man look terrible because of Kody. Very interesting to think about that. I'm going to tell you guys this. If you need to hear the love story between these two, which was basically him cheating on his first 3 wives and them all lying to us for years. That this connection only happened because they went to a dance. And it was Meri who brought her in, y'all. It was Meri. Yeah, no. This is all a setup. I believe, and I guarantee you that cousin set it up, because she locked eyes with Kody at church. And they were planning on having this. They couldn't have an affair. He got too many kids for that. But she could be a plural wife. And she saw what they had and she wanted it. So she made sure that she was set up accordingly to be chummy with Meri, even though she didn't care about Meri. She knew the way to him was through Meri. She knew it was through the first wife. And all she had to do, she saw how sad and depressed was. In those communities that news travels fast. I guarantee you, news about how Meri was doing was traveling. And she took full advantage of that and preyed on Meri, because Meri clearly needed friendship. and to feel special, and got this whole scenario set up to where she could end up with that family. Say I'm lying. This has been a scam from the get-go. And this is the exposing. This is the exposing that's happened. Look how, one episode, one clip, exposure, exposed. Moving on, segment 5. We're going back to Vegas, y'all. Jen's pushing Meri to tell Brandi about how he handled the breakup in front of Nathan and Rebecca. Again, you guys are bringing up that anniversary date for moving. I was thinking in this moment too, like for Brandi, for a friend that Kody just says talks so bad about him. Isn't it interesting that she said that she was defending him to outsiders? So for somebody that didn't know you at all, did nothing but talk about you, isn't it interesting that despite your behavior, she was making an effort to find an out for you? Isn't that interesting? With that, though, we're going to put in a mic drop here. I got a few more, you guys. The segment 5 is pretty decent. So we're going to pop a mic drop moment right here. This is number 2. Put it in here right now.
But I understand that that's not where you're at.
I've always thought this, and you always said, no, that's not true. He's not. I always saw him favor her, Robyn.
Okay. Brandi is another friend calling out that he favored Robyn, y'all. This is now, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 12 friends that have called out the favoring of Robyn. How he used COVID as an excuse to only stay at Robyn's house, and it was very clear favoritism. Everybody can see. Anybody with a TV can see, okay? Jen calls out to how Meri did everything he asked her to do, and he still ignored her during COVID. We have been saying this, you guys, for a while when we've been doing these reviews, is we've been saying we find it interesting that during the COVID period, Meri was following all the protocols. Meri brings up during this time how she was calling and calling, trying to stay connected to the family. They were going out of their way to keep Meri distant, to isolate Meri. When I really think back on COVID, y'all, I'm kind of heartbroken about it because they knew good and full well Meri was over there by herself and she was following all the protocols, locking herself away, okay, in hopes that she could see Kody and see Robyn and her children. And the way they did Meri during COVID is unacceptable. It is criminal, in my opinion, based off all these rules they had. Oh, if you follow these, we can get together. No, you can't. You're lying. You're lying. And I wish somebody would call Robyn out for real on that. She's full of SHIT. Like, give me a break, girl. You were part of this whole shenanigans with Kody. Icing Meri out. Stop it. Ooh. With that being said, WTF moment number 6, y'all. We're going to put it right here.
Example is at your mom's funeral. Yeah, that was hard.
The fact that Robyn didn't come to my mom's funeral and support me in that way at that time was very hurtful to me. You know, they were...
Okay, Meri, y'all, she finally calls out the relationship with Robyn, how it's not reciprocal. Like, she clearly calls it out that it was not reciprocal. She's kind of hinted to this, but she's never just flat out said this was not a reciprocal relationship. It was very one-sided on my part. Robyn had really no interest in being connected to me, which is why if you want to be a sister wife so bad, you would think you'd be making an effort as much as possible to keep your family together. Also, that she confirmed, which a lot of us had said before, that she did not go to Meri's mom's funeral. Kody was there, y'all. As evil as he is, he made it. But Robyn is filled with excuses, okay? To me, it's unacceptable. She had 2 young kids only. Those other 2 could have fended for themselves for a couple days. She could have got the nanny. Give me a break. Or you could have taken those kids with you because they could have done school on the go because it was during COVID. And you could have put some masks on those kids and figured it out. I'm sorry. When I was that age and my great-grandfather died, my family we put us all in a big old van and we drove the 18 plus hours it took to get to our destination. With all that family there, nobody could help you with those kids? You couldn't figure that out? I don't want to hear the COVID excuse. That was all lies. It was all lies, y'all. That just made me so upset. I'm sorry. Just sitting here thinking back on how she just totally betrayed Meri. It's really enough to make you sick. It's really enough to make you sick how she did her. Also, you guys, as we go on, Jen calls out Meri. She's how Meri stayed out of everyone else's like relationships while everybody stayed in hers. I don't think she really meant everyone. I think she just didn't want to say how you stayed out of Robyn's and she didn't stay out of yours. She just said everyone. I think for the first three, they were all kind of in and out of each other's relationships. But I think that one with Meri, especially towards the end, she was not really into Christine's until Christine did that big announcement. But it felt like Meri was kind of on the outside. She didn't really know what was going on. But she definitely was on the outside when it came to Robyn's. But that's because she didn't really have a choice. Robyn didn't give her any ammo. Kody didn't give any of them any ammo on Robyn. So they could not be in that relationship because neither one of them, they were tight, boy. They were ironclad tight on each other. He just ran his mouth about everybody else. And so did Robyn. That's how that happened. So I just thought that was interesting. I did say that Kody talks about all the other wives, talks about everybody else to the other wives, and especially to Robyn, talks about Meri to Robyn, because Robyn's basically dangled Meri over his head saying, you got to keep that relationship alive. And then Jen brings up the conversation that they had on the property where, again, Robyn makes it about her and she starts crying and saying, I support you, but I can't be here for this. And we're all sitting here thinking like, this is not about you. And so then, pop this, y'all. Pop this WTF moment. Put this WTF moment in right here. This is the last one. Baby. Put it here.
He goes, that was so hard on Robyn.
I thought it was fair for you and I to have a conversation without Robyn being involved in it.
100%. I agree with you.
Poor girl, that whole talk just wrecked her.
Okay.
Y'all, do y'all remember this? I don't remember this. This must have been on the cutting room floor. And if it was, okay, if this was on the cutting room floor and we have the lovely, phenomenal Jen who brought this up so the producers were forced to put it in, we are not worthy. Jen, because I don't recall this. And if they had to pop this in because Jen brought it up, we are not worthy. The end of Meri's marriage, Kody's making it about how hard it is for Robyn. I'm like, you guys, this, ladies and gentlemen, is literally the perfect example of why the marriages to his first three wives ended. He's splitting up with one and talking about Robyn. Talking about how it impacts Robyn. Not how it impacts the wife that you are literally divorcing. How it impacts Robyn. Wow. Whoa. Put in the comments, y'all. Let me know what you thought about that. We're ending off this segment with them stopping in the cul-de-sac. Robyn says, I wonder if we would have stayed together if we would have stayed in this cul-de-sac. I'm like, Robyn, you probably would have stayed together a lot longer had you stayed in that cul-de-sac. However, her clear selfish ways, narcissism, it would not have changed. And it still would have ultimately ended those first marriages. They still would have gotten tired, just would have got tired a little bit later. But it still would have ended them. And I'm more like the Janelle when it comes to this. Like, I would not need to go back to that cul-de-sac. I'm glad Meri finally came to her senses at the end and said, get me the hell up out of here. Like, why are we here, y'all? I have moved on. I do not need to be here, Jen. You want me to leave it in the past? Leave it in the past, including this cul-de-sac. I don't want to see this cul-de-sac no more. It's done. They can't even get through the gate. It's pointless. Don't talk about the cul-de-sac anymore. It's over. Y'all, that was the end of the episode. What'd you think? How'd you like the recap? How'd you like the review? The clips? What do you think? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Decent episode. We'll see you guys next week for episode 15. Hope you loved it. Hit like, hit subscribe, and share. Bye.